Hey guys, I gotta say, this is not clickbait. You might have seen the cutscene, but definitely not with this one change. And the steps along the way to get the cutscene are very cool and show a crazy amount of attention to detail they had, especially for back in 2005. The cool thing about this cutscene is it basically has steps. So at the very beginning of the game, chapter 1-1, you have to make sure you do not press the interact button here at the cliff, so square on PlayStation interact button, or here at the bridge. That will void you out of the secret cutscene. The next step is to make sure you don't interact with this guy here. If you do, it will once again void the cutscene. A cool little side secret is if you don't pick up this key, you could actually get the cutscene in chapter 1-2, rather than picking it up and just going to get it in chapter 1-3. This is sped up by 8 times speed, but the next step is just to run back to the very beginning of the game. Then just interact with the cliff or the bridge for the cutscene.
No.
Now you might be let down or feel baited, and I'm sorry if you do, but usually this cutscene takes place in chapter 1-1. This is chapter 1-2 or chapter 1-3, and if you look, he's not wearing his jacket. Usually in this cutscene he is. But the reason why this is even a video I'm making is not because the no jacket, that's not really cool enough, but the cool little attention to details and secrets I mentioned before, and I'll show you some of those now. So a really cool attention to detail, especially for 2005, is if you examine the officer's body, this is actually Leon acknowledging that the officer is dead. The evidence to this is if now you go to the cliff, you can't activate the cutscene. But weirdly, if you go to the bridge, you can activate the cutscene, which you could do no matter what, whether you looked at the officer's body or not, you could always activate the cutscene at either or spot. Then, whether you examine the officer's body or not, you could check the bridge, and he'll say the bridge is out, I can't go back this way. And you're usually allowed to examine the cliff again for him to say something. But if you examine the officer's body first, he won't say anything, because as you'll see in a second, when you re-examine the cliff, it's him saying that he hopes the officers are alright. Which he knows most likely they aren't, because he found one dead. After recording and editing this whole video, I decided to test one more thing, and as it turns out, if you get the optional cutscene where you see the second officer's body get eaten, it works the same way as interacting with the first officer's body, meaning you don't get that dialogue where he wonders if the officers are okay, because again, he knows they're not.